And the thing is, I do believe there was talk about these things. I believe if we study history, the Confederates were able to shoot pterodactyls, back in the Civil War, and they spread these things out. Anybody can look it up online.
Google it
They
yourself.
spread these things out, and this is a historical fact. So, they spread this thing out, and it's got a huge winglet. It was a pterodactyl they shot. So, of course, these things have been around. Now, they went extinct, obviously, slowly, but surely. And so...
What I'm saying is Jesus wrote a dinosaur to work. That's history. It's in the Bible. How to Train Your Dragon.
Historical facts.
And if you don't believe it, do your own research. Pull up Google. You'll find the picture, I promise.
Oh my God.
Thank you, John Gleason, Godless engineer, for gifting me this beautiful moment. Y'all remember when they tried to cancel Steven Spielberg for posing with an animatronic triceratops animal rights activist?
Back it up.
Hit it from the back.
Cloaca. Historical facts.
Eat my ass, BP. You're down here bailing on the rest of us because you don't want to process your grief and shame like a normal person by drinking and mistreating strangers.
No, Rick. It is you who must nibble my cloaca, or bird asshole.
Everyone knows what a cloaca is.
back in the Civil War, and they spread these things out. Anybody can look it up online. They spread these things out, and this is a historical fact. So, they spread this thing out, and it's got a huge winglet. It's a pterodactyl they shot. So, of course, these things have been around. Now, they went extinct, obviously, slowly, but surely. And so...
Paul Bunyan was sharing some Funyuns with his pet velociraptor.
Whoa.
Oh, you thought it was an ox? Roll back the clock. Let me knock the socks off. Historical facts.
I didn't cut out. You heard me. Are you a pervert or something? Okay.
What's up, heathens? How y'all doing? We're back in the States from our 2-week vacation over there to Italy, France, Spain, and Portugal. Oh, and Monaco. We were over there, which is reason why I'm mentioning that is because we're doing just the video tonight because I am tired and I'm still trying to adjust back to original sleep schedule and everything like that, which is taking a pretty heavy toll as far as what time I go to bed. I was falling asleep on the couch and I had KC wake me up at an appropriate time, which is 15 minutes beforehand. So tonight we're going to take a look at a Christian who is going to be laying out 3 reasons as to why other Christians should not be celebrating Halloween. And I'm wearing a very, on point shirt. He did for Halloween. So this Christian influencer person, she looks like a Target Karen. And she's going to be telling people why they should not be celebrating Halloween. And I mean, I'm not the biggest celebrator of Halloween. I don't go all out. I don't dress up really all that much. And Xander's at the point where he's not trick or treating anymore or anything like that. But Halloween's still fun. Holiday and thing to celebrate. So I don't understand why a lot of Christians out there have to go down this fucking crazy route of thinking that this shit is real and is somehow connected to demonic rituals, which is kind of the crux of the video tonight. So we're going to be taking a look at a Christian influencer who's going to try to influence a bunch of Christians to not celebrate Halloween by trying to scare them into not doing it or trying to shame them into not doing it. I don't know. We're going to find out. If you want to fuck around and find out why you and your fellow Christians out there, or well, you and your Christian neighbors, I guess, should not be celebrating Halloween this year because that means you're sacrificing small cats in your basement to Satan, then please stay tuned. Yeah, so during the little intro thing there, Casey said, we don't have a basement. I've never had a basement. Well, so my aunt had a basement. It was kind of a complicated, they were building a house, and so they started, of course, from the ground up. They built the basement first, and they lived there for the longest time, and then they built the house on top of it. Yeah, and so that was a little odd. That's the only basement that I've really been in. And they had a shower in the basement there because, they lived in it for a long time. And I actually saw a scorpion in the shower one time. The scariest shit. I mean, you don't really see that many scorpions here in North Alabama, but there was one in the fucking shower. Anyways, so tonight we are doing just the video. Normally I have at least comments that I want to go over and everything like that, but I am just fucking exhausted. So I hope that you guys could just deal with the video. The video is kind of long. It's over 10 minutes, so we, I think that we're definitely going to have more than enough to cover in the response here. But if you want to do a super chat, help us out here at Godless Engineer. Help us donate to some great charities. We're not sure who we're donating to this month. I believe last month was Suicide Prevention Month. Yeah. And so not sure what we're going to do this month. We'll have to check back in our records and shit and see who we donated to around this time last year. But we typically will donate to a charity of some kind every month. So if you want to help us out, consider sending a super chat or anything like that. Now I do have a debate/discussion that I'm doing tomorrow, which I forgot to tell you about this. Tomorrow at 5 p.m. So I'll have that link somewhere after the show. And that's what I got going on. Monday night, I have the line that I'm doing. So I don't know if you guys like the line or any of those call-in shows, but I'll be doing that, and I'll be sharing that on the community tab. All right, so with all of that housekeeping shit out of the way, let's hurry. Let's get to the response video so I can go to bed. Sorry, not to move shit along too quick here. But I am pretty tired. Like I said, I was falling asleep over on the couch, and then I moved from the couch to the chair, and I had 3 alarms going off, and I was just like, fucking snooze, snooze, snooze. Anyways, all right. So as you can tell, this is going to be a painful video. So this is, should Christians celebrate Halloween? Of course, this person says no, they shouldn't, and she's going to give 3 reasons why. But my own personal opinion on this, which I feel like it's kind of a stupid question to ask, because I feel like Christians can celebrate Halloween perfectly fine and not be worshiping the devil. Because the Halloween doesn't have any kind of connection to devil worship. Halloween does have a complex history with integrating not only Celtic pagan rituals and stuff and celebrations, but also Christian ones. So it has a bit of a mixed past, showing a bunch of syncretism going into a modern celebration that's very secular in nature and has really no connection to the Celtic, pagan, and Christian sources that a lot of the things derive from. So I don't think that there's any issues with Christians celebrating Halloween. I mean, I celebrated Halloween when I was a Christian. I saw no problem with dressing up and asking for fucking candy at random strangers' houses. You know, when you actually boil down to what Halloween is, it is a little weird. It's like, hey, let's dress up, go to people's houses and ask for candy, or else we'll fuck their yards up. Like, it seems weird, but you know, that's just the secular tradition that kind of has developed. So I don't see any problem with it. I don't know why this is a big problem. I feel like it's only a big problem for Christians that think that magic is real. And I don't mean that in, I guess I kind of mean that in a derogatory way, but I mean quite literally what we would all agree is magic, like witchcraft and devil worship and all that. Like they have this fantastical idea of what all of that is. And it's like, as far as the magic of the witches and everything like that goes, it's cartoonish, what they believe. But I feel like it's mainly the Christians that think that like there are literal witches that can cast spells on you out there that are saying y'all shouldn't celebrate this time because people take this serious and they sacrifice little dogs in their basements to Satan while they dance around naked with witches. I mean, you know, sans the sacrificing small animals part, it sounds like a fun party, I guess.
Remember a couple years ago when the Christians here were having a meltdown because Halloween fell on Sunday and they didn't think that people should be trick-or-treating on Sunday because it was sacrilegious?
Yeah, I remember that. A couple years ago around here, when Halloween fell on a Sunday, like some of the Christians were having a pretty big problem with it because they felt like it was sacrilegious for people to be trick-or-treating on Sunday. And it was really weird. When we moved into our house, we actually asked, like, hey, when are we doing Halloween this year? Like, when are people trick-or-treating? And like, there was a lot of backlash that we got, like, in the neighborhood group about, like, we're going to do it on Halloween. What the fuck are you thinking about? And I mean,
Very next year.
Yeah, it was the very next year after people had a shit conniption over doing the trick-or-treating on Sunday. Which, you know what's really funny, if you look this up, trick-or-treating has a bit of a Christian history to it, because one of the things that happened prior to modern Halloween kind of coalescing is that on All Saints Day, like the next day, November 1st, you would have kids that would go around and offer an exchange of prayers for the dead and exchange that for food. And so that kind of led into what is now trick-or-treating, right? And so it's kind of interesting that people would have a problem with that, considering its Christian history to it. But anyways, so we're gonna see what this person's 3 reasons are. She's got 3 reasons for why people should not be celebrating it. Tonight, I'm drinking this Portuguese gin that I managed to get through customs, and some peach, or no, it's pineapple mango, like just flavored water. That's what I got. I believe the Portuguese gin is called Snow Dog. I mean, it was Portuguese. It was liquor, and I bought it. They didn't have any Portuguese like whiskey. All of the whiskey in the duty-free zone before we left Portugal, it was just like Jameson and Jack Daniels. I got this one like 100 proof, 50% alcohol Jack Daniels that was like bottled in bond or something like that. Anyways, it was like distilled in a government warehouse or some kind of shit. I'm not sure. It was a fancy label, so I tried some. But anyways, all right, let's see what this person has. I can't remember her name. Target Karen. What do you got, Target Karen? Huh? I'm sorry, honey. I forgot to clean my earpiece off for you.
What's up? It's Johanna with Godless Glamorous. We learn how to live our best lives through Jesus Christ. And today we have a really, really important topic to talk about today. And that is the topic of Halloween. So Halloween is coming up and millions of people all around the world plan on celebrating this day. But the key question is, should we as Christians be celebrating it? And let me answer by giving a quick analogy.
This analogy is not going to be good. I can just tell. Ramblings and Beyond sent in a $2 super chat saying charity. Yeah, charity. Fuck yeah, charity. I think my call ended. No, you're fine. Sorry, the notification wasn't on. That's my bad. They're Ramblings and Beyond. But yeah, charity. Well, we're gonna donate to a charity. I'm not sure which charity it is this month, but we will let you guys know next month when hopefully I'm back on a better sleep schedule. Huh? Next week. Sorry, did I say next month? Fuck. Oh, there we go. You have been blessed by Christ. Now go forth and suck my dong. Hey, the notifications are actually on point this month because it said Ramblings and Beyond sniffs straight candy corn, which, I mean, I feel like that's the only real way to consume candy corn is to crush it up and go, oh, do you smell the Halloween? That's not how you eat candy corn. I think it's the only real way to eat it. I mean, it's basically like trailer park meth is what it is. Anyways, so she's going to have a horrible analogy here, and she's asking the question of like, should we as Christians, the millions and billions of Christians worldwide, should we be celebrating this? Like I said before, I don't really give a fuck. I mean, celebrate it, don't celebrate it, I don't really care. But what I do care about is, you know, people like Target Karen here trying to shame people into not doing it, which is effectively what her whole video is about. And in case you're wondering, I'm calling her Target Karen because I feel like this is a very Karen thing to do, putting your nose in other people's business, trying to tell them how to live their lives. That's one thing. I call her Target Karen because she looks very upscale. Like, if you go to Walmart, you could go to Walmart in your PJs and you'll be fine. You will not be the weirdest looking person there. Yeah, you're not going to see this dress at Walmart, but this kind of looks like the getup you would get in to go to Target. I mean, yeah, I'm not saying that she looks bad. I think she looks fantastic. Casey thinks that she looks fantastic. I mean, upscale Karen, I feel like is a very, I mean, I'm not, like the Target wasn't like a bad thing, but the Karen was the bad thing. Anyways, let's see what her analogy is because it's going to be shitty.
So in the early 2000s, there was a show called To Catch a Predator, and it was hosted by Chris Hansen. So Chris Hansen would catch these child predators, aka pedophiles, and what these pedophiles would do is they would try to seduce children into participating and engaging in inappropriate sexual activity. And how
Sir, why did you bring a condom and liquor? That's the one thing that Chris Hansen says in that. I don't know what this has to do with Halloween. Like, I don't know what To Catch a Predator has to do with Halloween. Like, is Chris Hansen going to pop around the corner and Satan's going to be there like, oh shit, I don't know what to do. Chris Hansen's here. Fuck, I made him do these things. like I set up many of these situations. I really should have seen this coming. Like, I don't know what the fuck To Catch a Predator has to do with fucking Halloween. But it just seems like more fear mongering.
How they would do that is that they would coerce or groom these children into thinking that their inappropriate and demonic activity was normal and playful and fun, when in reality they already knew that what they were doing was wrong, sick, twisted, and demonic. And in the
I feel like she's putting a lot on, like, I don't know how she's getting to demonic on this. Now, obviously, the people that Chris Hansen was catching on To Catch Predator were horrible people and everything like that, but I kind of feel like she's blending reality with like fantasy right now by like switching a bunch of words around and like saying demonic and evil and all this other stuff. She's essentially painting Halloween as this sort of grooming ritual that's meant to entice you into, I guess, worshiping Satan's dick or something.
Well, also pedophiles as demons, which makes them not responsible for their own actions, which I think is bullshit. You're letting them off the hook. Also calling a whole bunch of priests demons, which is weird.
Well, yeah. So KC pointed out how portraying the pedophiles as demons kind of removes some kind of agency from them, so that they're not exactly responsible for their actions or something. But also the fact that the church, not only the Catholic Church, but the Protestant churches also have a massive problem with pedophilia and grooming and all this other stuff. Like, honestly, I feel like Halloween is like going around trick-or-treating with your parents responsibly and everything like that is probably safer than like fucking going to church. Yeah, it's definitely the least of their fucking problems. That's right, honey.
Same way, this is exactly what it's like when it comes to Halloween. We have a very real predator, the devil, that is trying to groom God's children into these sick, twisted, and demonic practices, trying to portray them as something that is sweet, innocent, and fun. And in reality, that's not the case.
I'm sorry. Like, in reality, it's not the case. Have you seen some of these like Halloween costumes? I mean, I don't understand why she's like trying to portray Halloween as this To Catch a Predator situation where the devil is the pedophile.
This woman is so detached from reality. She has no right to talk about it.
Yeah, Casey says that this woman is detached from reality, and she shouldn't be fucking talking about it, but I agree. Ramblings and Beyond says, is she fucking serious? Has she been to a holier than thou church lately? I don't know. With that, I mean, I feel like that's the kind of dress you wear to church on Sundays. Like, I don't know. And that's not me knocking her dress or anything. I mean, I think it's fine.
I don't think so. With the sheer arms, there are church ladies who would call her a hoe.
There are church ladies that would call her a hoe.
Yeah,
She's being groomed by Satan, honey, right now.
I think it's fine, but there are church ladies who would not like the sheer arms.
Right. There are church ladies that would not like her sheer arms. But I feel like it's kind of weird how she's talking about like the devil grooming and everything like that, when it's very opinionated. Like, everything that she's saying in this video is opinionated, but it's like, you know, somebody could easily say that about her. Like, there's a devil behind her being like, oh yeah, where are those sheer arms? Oh yeah, you fucking whore. Like, I could just see somebody being like, the devil's whispering in her ear, trying to show off her shoulders and shit. She got a Jezebel demon. We need to get Bob Larson up in this bitch right now.
I don't know if y'all know this, but when you get to heaven, your moral actions are not judged. You're only judged for believing in me. Thank you.
Daniel M says, David says
Jesus
goodnight.
loves the little children, maybe a little too much.
It's that one was topical. Thank you, Daniel M. And David, I hope you have a good night there, bud. I mean, I'm probably going to pass out after this video, so I mean, I hope you don't pass out soon. Well, maybe you should pass out soon. I mean, it's going to be 10 o'clock. But anyways, all right. Let's see what else that she's got. So let's set the stage here. Halloween is like To Catch a Predator, where Satan's the pedophile that's grooming Christians and other people into worshiping his dick. Got it.
When we take a look at Halloween, Halloween is obviously very evil, it's very satanic, and it's very demonic, and we as Christians should not be celebrating it.
Okay, maybe you shouldn't be celebrating it because you have such a negative opinion about it. And maybe you should recognize that, like, not everybody holds your opinion about magical things existing in reality. Like, and I say that, you know, because when I was a Christian, like, I don't know about you there, Casey, but I did not go around thinking that like witches and demons and all that were like real. Like, whenever I'd see them in the movies and everything like that, or whenever I'd watch fucking Ghost Hunters or something, I'd be like, oh yeah, fucking there's a demon or something. But it's not like I went around my daily life and I was like, oh shit, the witches are out today.
I knew Wicca was real, but I didn't believe they actually did real magic. And
Right.
I never believed in hell, so I never believed in demons.
Right. And I mean, I knew that Wiccans existed, but I also did not think that they were actually doing some kind of magical thing, or that there were any, devil worshiping like Christians, like this person right here is trying to portray them as doing their devil worship. Like, all of that just seemed magical to me. And like, even though I believed in magical things, like I was like, okay, yeah, that's magical. That's fantasy. Like, I can easily understand that. But hey, God, that's not magical, is what I thought as a Christian. So, I mean, I'm criticizing myself as a Christian at this point. But this woman right here is full on in the delusion, I feel, of the magicalness of reality. Because I feel like you have to believe in, like, people out there actually doing magic in order to hold these positions. Like, to think that Halloween is somehow a devilish night that is trying to entrap you and get you to worship Satan. I feel like that's a very fantasy-driven idea, and only people that can't discern fantasy from reality are gonna believe that. All of this to say, maybe she should keep her nose out of other people's business.
So in Ephesians chapter 5, verse 11, the Bible says, have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather expose them.
Oh, really? Is that what Ephesians says? Where was this fucking verse while the Catholic Church was preying on small children? Where was this fucking verse when the Protestant churches, like the Southern Baptist Coalition, was preying on children and their congregants in general? Like, where was this? Take no part in the unfruitful works of darkness, but instead expose them. Like, seriously? You can't seriously spout this out, but at the same time not recognize or mention that the church circulates the exact people that you're portraying as demonic. And they protect them too. Like, not just the Catholics, but the Protestants too. Like, this feels so, like the hypocrisy is just so thick right now on this. Where, Lemur sent a super chat saying, looks like she missed the part where the Bible says, shut up, woman. Fuck. 1 Timothy something or another, shut the fuck up.
And I'm sure that we can all agree that Halloween is very dark and very satanic.
Look, it's only dark because
hey, GE, this person just donated a whole bunch of money. You might want to give them some attention.
It's only dark when the sun sets. Like, other than that, it's very colorful. Like, in our neighborhood, like, there's people that go all out because right now the big thing is to have these giant Nephilim skeletons in your yard. And there's like this one house that has about 5 Nephilim skeletons that are just walking around their yard and shit. It's too much. But more than that, it's colorful. Like, it's not like dark or anything, but it is colorful. And yeah, demonic. Because, you know, in the past, people have believed in demons as like a serious thing that in reality that you got to worry about. But we've moved past that. Like, they probably believe in real demons, but they also don't believe that if you make fun of these demons by putting out, you know, all the Halloween decorations, like that somehow you're glorifying them. Like, I don't know why anybody would think that you're glorifying demons on Halloween. It just seems so ridiculous to me.
It does not glorify God in any way. It is surrounded by death. It is surrounded by satanic instruments. It is surrounded by death. It is just...
You said death twice. I don't know why you're listening. Like What? Death, satanic shit, death again. Did you hear me about the death? There's a lot of death. I don't know why the death part is all that important here, that you got to emphasize it like that. I mean, I feel like death is around us all the time. Like, it's a constant thing in reality. Like death is a very real thing in reality. And I feel like on Halloween, the reason why death is so prominent is because of its Celtic and Christian backgrounds. You know, like I said before, on All Saints Day, you had kids that would go around trade food for prayers for the deceased. So there's a element of death there, and that's related to Christianity. And then with the Celtic pagan religions, what you had is this idea that the veil between the living and the dead was thinnest on Samhain night and during their Samhain celebrations. And so they would dress up in order to ward off these spirits. So, like, I mean, she's talking about how all of this is like grooming you to like worship Satan's dick or something. But at the same time, the actual origins of these things, like dressing up, having the decorations up, even the trick-or-treating, all of that was like protection, either against the spirits or doing something for the deceased, and everything. So, I mean, death is there, but it's because of the celebrations that were taking place in the past and how that got syncretized together and eventually got molded into our modern secular Halloween. That is the reasonable explanation for all of those things. But she, of course, just yeets that fucking out the window. Is like, no, it's Satan trying to groom you so that you can worship his dick with, I guess, slutty nurse uniforms or something, whatever you wear on Halloween. Of course, that's the more adult version. And then the kids' version is, I guess, Moana or some shit.
A day of darkness and the
Sorry. Tara Dickoff says, I have a feeling she's a Craig Locke fan, so I'm just going to assume she's a witch for Christ, as they think they can cast magic, but in God's name. I mean, I feel like anybody that feels like they can pray and have a real effect in reality is doing some kind of God magic. Like, I'm a witch for Jesus because I can pray and I can make shit happen.
Bible is clear.
Shit. And so I feel like I have a hard time discerning between the magic that we all sort of know from the fantasy world and like the shit Christians do a lot of the times, because the magic in the fantasy realm, you know, you cast an incantation and it does something. Well, you have exactly that kind of shit happening either in the Bible or Jesus is telling you that you can do it yourself. And so I have a tough time discerning between fantasy magic and God magic. I just feel like it's all magical, fantastical bullshit. And there's really no difference between the two, other than like what she said is that the God magic has God in mind, or at least that's what they tell people.
It is surrounded by death. It is just a day of darkness, and the Bible is clear that we should have no part in the unfruitful works of darkness. So let's talk about Halloween and why we as Christians should not be celebrating it. Without further ado, let's get started. Number one, when you participate in Halloween, it weakens you spiritually.
How does it weaken you spiritually? Like, it literally, like when I was a Christian and I was doing the Halloween thing, like it had no bearing whatsoever on me being a Christian. It didn't weaken me spiritually or anything like that. Honey, I can cut on the mic over here if you want to come talk.
No, what is this golden crusted COVID?
What is this golden crusted COVID she has right there? I don't know. Maybe that's the golden spiky ball that she throws up God's ass sometimes. Or maybe a demon testicle. It could be a demon testicle, yep. Like maybe she ripped it off Satan and then she... You know, it's like sometimes the people take the kid shoes, like the baby shoes, and they like dip them in bronze or some shit. Maybe she ripped off the devil's testicles, the spiky testicles, and like she had one done like that. She probably ate the other one. Oh yeah, I mean, she probably cooked that out there on the barbecue. Like the turkey testicles? You think it was cream filled? If Satan's balls are cream filled, they're cream filled with like buffalo sauce. Like 9/11 atomic sauce is probably what's in there. Anyways, I don't know what the COVID demon testicle is on there. It's decorative.
Satan doesn't want you to know that he exists because he does not want you to understand your power and your authority through Christ Jesus.
May the power of Christ compel you to shut the fuck up. Satan doesn't want you to know that he's there. Like Satan, I mean, I guess I'm just not understanding like why Satan would not want Christians to know that he's there. Like I feel like in the Bible, Satan makes himself pretty well known. Like he's not shy about it. Like, hey, I'm Satan. Like that's not what he does. Like he full on appears to Jesus and is like, I can give you everything you want, boy. Is basically what Satan said to Jesus out there in the wilderness. And with as much as Christians put on Satan for doing in this world, it doesn't really seem like Satan's like playing it low, like playing it on the down low. Like Satan's not trying to hide out there. Like he's not. I mean, if Satan were to exist and Satan is doing things, then he's pretty blatantly doing things. And Christians are like, I can see Satan. But Satan is not even trying to be seen. He's just sort of hanging out. And they're like, I can see Satan right now.
They have literal stories about Satan throughout the Bible. I don't understand what she's talking about.
Yeah. There are Satans or there are stories about Satan in the Bible. Yeah, and Christians have retroactively went back in the Old Testament and identified the Beelzebub or the Lucifer, the Satan angel, because he comes up like in Job. Like Job's the most famous one, famous reference to that. There's some other ones in there. In Genesis, with the serpent. There. So I mean, like that's a really good example there. The serpent in the Garden of Eden, like he didn't like try to hide himself or anything like that. He just poked up out of the tree and was like, "Hey Eve, why don't you have that bite of that apple right there?" And then he progressed to just having a full-on conversation with Eve about and convincing her to eat the apple. Like,
according to them, Satan is always trying to talk to us and convince us and get us to do his bidding. So I just don't understand what she said. It makes no sense.
It definitely does not make any sense. And then if you fast forward to the New Testament, you've got Paul who identifies Satan as the ruler of this world. So I mean, if Satan's trying to play it on the down low, I mean, people have already like blown that cover. Like, especially Paul. Paul's like, Satan rules this world. He controls shit now. And Satan's like, shit, Paul, shut the fuck up, will you? God damn it. I'm just trying to play it low here. But yeah, Satan is a weird guy in a trench coat. Got it.
So he would rather coerce you into playing around with him rather than you exposing him. And quite honestly, by you participating in Halloween, it already tells you the level of spirituality that you are on. But when you participate in Halloween, I can almost guarantee that you've never casted out a demon. You've never laid hands on the sick expecting them to be healed. You never commanded any demonic force to flee. When you operate in
Yeah. It's a good point, honey. How can you sit there and be like, oh, Satan doesn't want you to know he's there, but at the same time you're like, if you celebrate Halloween, I can guarantee you've never casted out a demon. Well, you know what? I can guarantee you that you have never casted out a demon, ma'am. Thank you for that. I mean, you've never like actually healed somebody. Now, you may have this crazy notion that you have laid your hands on somebody and expected them to be healed, but I can guarantee you, you have not just healed somebody by like touching them. That's not been something that's happened. And I like how in this little portion, she's like, if you celebrate Halloween, I can guarantee you that you have not done any of these fantastical bullshit things. like casting out a demon. It's like, I don't know. I casted out a demon this morning. It was about 3 pounds and I weighed afterwards and it reflected. That was unnecessary to talk about poop. But it just seems like this entire thing seems ridiculous. And I can't take anybody seriously that's like, you have never casted out a demon. It's like, I'm sorry, ma'am. Demons don't exist. And that's why it's okay for us to celebrate Halloween because it's, you know, it's a fun time. And I don't think you got to worry about a demon haunting you. Olivia Williams says that's why cleric is a D&D class. Good point there, Olivia. Thank you.
In the spiritual realm, you understand that it does not make any sense to participate or partake in any of the devil's dealings. The reason why I'm so ready to fight and go toe to toe with the devil is because I don't play with him. I don't flirt with him. I don't sit and cuddle up at night to watch his scary movies, and I don't participate in Halloween.
This person sounds like a very unfun individual.
She's like, I'm gonna fuck with you. Stupid ass devil. I ain't fucking with you.
Yeah. She doesn't fuck with the devil. And I mean, that's fine. I mean, I don't know why she has to shit on people that enjoy scary movies. I mean, at this point, it's hard for me to find a movie that I'm genuinely scared by. I remember back when Paranormal Activity came out, I watched that shit middle of the night, dark as fuck room, like midnight. I watched that shit. And yeah, I mean, that was pretty scary. But I mean, like, I had to do midnight, totally dark ass room by myself and everything like that in order to make it scary. And she's just like, I just don't watch scary movies. Okay, that sounds like a personal thing. Like, that's your opinion. Don't watch scary movies. It's like, I don't flirt with the devil. I'm sure he doesn't want you to flirt with him. But I also noticed that she was like, the devil doesn't want you to know. But at the same time, she's like, I don't flirt with the devil. How would you know? If the devil doesn't want Christians to know that he's there working his little, you know, fingers and shit, how would you know if you're flirting with the devil or not? I mean, with anything that you do, that would be a good, you know, sort of epistemological thing, exercise to go through here. It's like, how would you be able to discern the devil from God in this instance? Because, you know, what if she's doing something that was actually planted into Christianity by the devil and it actually worships the devil? I mean, I don't know how you would discern that other than, you know, it's in the Bible. And so therefore it can only be from God, which is just speculative. So I don't know.
Jesus tells us to be as wise as serpents and as harmless as doves. He says, behold, I am sending you out as sheep among wolves. Therefore be as wise as serpents and as harmless as doves. We are called to be aware of the enemy's schemes, and Halloween is definitely one of them.
Well, wait a second. So the devil doesn't want you to know about him and his schemes, but at the same time, God has tuned humans to key in on his schemes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What she said makes no fucking sense. Like, not even from a religious standpoint, just from a sensical.
And she's got an internal consistency problem, does she, hun?
Yeah, she got a fucking problem.
She's got a fucking problem. I just don't understand. And Casey as well just doesn't understand, like, the point that she's trying to make here, in that apparently the devil is subversive, but at the same time, not subversive, or at least God has prepared people, like Christians in this case, to see his subversiveness or something, like detect it or something. I don't know. It seems very odd for those two things to go on. But this shouldn't surprise me coming from somebody who thinks that magic is real.
When you participate in Halloween, I don't know if you know this or not, but you are participating in a satanic ritual. You have to understand that just because the entire world is doing something doesn't mean that you need to blindly follow suit. You always need to look at the spiritual aspects and the origin of what you are participating in.
Well, I mean, how would you know that origin is really from God and not from the devil, that he's implanted into it to convince you to worship him without you knowing it, since he's being all subversive like? Yeah, Casey brought up a good point. I don't know if y'all can hear her, but she said that she would emphasize that this woman take a look into, the origins and actions of the Christian church throughout history. That would be an interesting thing to look at. But yeah, still, one thing I want to emphasize is that modern Halloween, and at no point in Halloween's history has it been devil worship. Like it's in the Celtic pagan religions, they recognized, or at least in their perspective, they recognized that the veil between living and dead was thinnest on Halloween night, or Samhain was the celebration that they did. That's right, honey. Dead does not mean demons, but also she's making it out to be like it's this very magically demonic thing. And it's just really not, especially modern Halloween. Modern Halloween is incredibly secularized. It's divorced from its original Celtic and Christian origins, and has nothing to do with devil worship. This is, I would classify this as fear-mongering. She's basically just fear-mongering her audience into doing whatever she wants. In this case, it would be not celebrating Halloween. So, I mean, if you don't want to celebrate Halloween, fine, don't celebrate Halloween, but don't sit there and fearmonger people into not celebrating with you. Don't take that away from them. I mean, if you want to be, some kind of, I can't think of a good alliteration here. If she doesn't want to have fun on Halloween, fine, let her stay at home with their lights out, eat candy alone. Be a party pooper, but let everybody else have their fun if they want to. Yeah, of course, she would sit there and like alone in her house and be like, "Oh, those people are worshiping Satan. Satan's growing stronger by the minute." It just seems so fantastical that it's hard to take it seriously. This entire video is hard to take seriously.
When you go to the origin of Halloween, it is rooted in satanic practices. It originally celebrated Samhain, the god of death, where people dressed up in costumes because they did not want to be attacked by evil spirits. So instead of being attacked by these evil spirits, they dressed up in costumes so that they can blend in with these evil spirits.
So, considering that Christianity is also part of Halloween's background, in that Christianity also has these demons, or these divine figures of death, would it not seem logical for a Christian that believes in this magical shit to subsequently dress up in these same things so that they can fool Satan in case they see Satan? I feel like she's like, don't do this because it worships Satan. It's like, no, it kind of seems like it's camouflage so that Satan can't see you. So why would we forego dressing up like this? I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. None of this makes fucking sense. This shouldn't convince anybody.
And additionally, they gave candy to these evil spirits to appease them so that they will not get played tricks on, which in turn the term trick or treat comes into play. Why would you want your child going door to door talking about trick or treat, as in give me a treat or I'm going to play a trick on you? Is there anything godly about that?
See, this is the mark of a person that had somebody play pranks or small little tricks on her as a child, and she was severely traumatized by it, I feel. She was no fun at parties. Is no fun at parties, yeah. Present tense. That's right, hun. Would you like a mic? No. Okay. Trick-or-treating, originally when trick-or-treating kind of started. Thank you for your opinion, work tablet. Fuck you. So when trick-or-treating started, it developed out of this Christian tradition on All Saints Day to offer prayers for the deceased in trade for food. So it wasn't just candy, it was food in general. So that developed into this concept of trick-or-treating. The original, concept of trick-or-treating is that, you'd either give these kids candy, which is really their ultimate goal, or there would be a harmless prank that was played on you. Like, I think one of the things I saw was like soaping up your windows or something. I don't know. Like just playing. Oh my God, they started cleaning the windows and then they gave up. Serenian says TPing houses. That was another thing. So, I mean, she's making it out to be like this trick-or-treating is really malicious, as if you're extorting candy from these people. But, I mean, sure, it may have started out with the whole trick thing in mind, but it's definitely like nowadays the trick is just part of tradition, saying the trick-or-treat thing. So kids are really ultimately just looking to get some of that sweet, sweet candy or whatever that you get on Halloween. And there's no real bite to the whole trick part. At least I feel like there shouldn't be. Now, it doesn't mean that there aren't kids that still do like tricks for, I guess, maybe shithead people that don't give out candy. But I feel like it's really starting to, not be a thing anymore. So this whole worry that she has about trick-or-treating and all of these celebrations around Halloween are really nonsensical. They don't have any basis in reality. And all of this is because she thinks that magic is real and that demons are real and they exist in reality to cause shit. And Halloween is meant to worship Satan's dick. That's the reason why she thinks these things.
There is nothing godly about encouraging your child to say, give me candy or I'm going to play a trick on you.
Oh no! Give me candy or else. Like I said, there's no bite to that. That's just tradition. I don't know why you have to take it so seriously. Now, you see, I disagree with the whole there's nothing godly about it, because there are people that dress up as angels and shit on Halloween. Maybe they're slutty angels, but they are angels nonetheless.
That's satanic, and that's not something that we as Christians should be involved in. The Bible tells us to do not be conformed to the ways of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Just because the entire world may be participating in something doesn't mean that we need to follow suit. Eventually, the entire world is going to be getting the mark of the beast on their right hand and on their forehead. And are you going to follow suit just because everyone else is doing it?
I mean, I feel like that's one of the arguments that Christians regularly use, but apparently there's going to be a mark of the beast on the right hand, also on the forehead.
I also feel like because everyone's doing it is why you're even a fucking Christian.
Yeah, the reason why she's a Christian is because everybody's doing it.
Well, I mean, yes. Yeah, I mean, it probably wasn't a decision she made specifically.
Yeah.
But, like, her parents were probably Christian because everyone around her were Christian. They were raised Christians. They raised their kids Christian. So she's Christian because everybody else is Christian.
You're right. She's Christian because everybody that she knows is Christian. She grew up around Christians. She grew up in a Christian not a Christian country, but She grew up in a very Christian environment, society.
Yeah, I mean, because if she had been born in the Middle East, she'd be Muslim.
Yeah.
If she'd been born in India, she'd be Hindu.
And
She's Christian because everyone where she's from is Christian.
yeah, and then if she was Muslim, then she'd have to do everything for Allah. Then, huh?
I'm just saying, like, she's like, we should do it because everybody else is. But ma'am, that's why you're Christian.
Yeah, it is. That's why she's Christian, because everybody else is.
The Bible says that narrow is the gate and small is the road that leads to eternal life, and very few people find it. But wide is the gate and broad is the road that leads to destruction, and many people are going to enter that.
So there's a gate, and I know that this is just a metaphor in the Bible. I think that what she's trying to communicate is that it's harder to do the right thing, and it's easier to be led astray and do the wrong thing. And I mean, yeah, if you have a super strict religion where it's hard to follow the religion, then yeah, it's going to be hard. But of course, this wide road and gate that's easy to go through or easy to follow is real. What it boils down to is literally just doing anything else other than what God wants. Like, that's it. If you're not doing it with God in mind, then you're on the path to destruction, apparently, and licking Satan's balls.
You're going to be the one that takes that narrow gate or that wide road, and it's up to you to follow it. So I just...
Wide load! Oh, no, she said wide road. Got it. Here's the thing, is that there's so much corruption in the Christian churches, both Catholic and Protestant, that I feel like this narrow gate and road is becoming synonymous with the wide one. And I don't really know if you'd be able to discern between the two in modern Christianity. Because oftentimes, like, the thing that makes this narrow road the narrow road is doing what God wants. And the problem is that what God wants is whatever somebody declares to be what God wants. And they can declare what God wants using the Bible in any kind of way to get what they actually want. And so this wide road becomes convoluted with the narrow road, so that I don't know. I don't know why I'm working within this metaphor here. It's such a dumb fucking metaphor from the Bible. But I'm just saying that I feel like the actions that are done for God are convoluted with these actions that are done for the devil or for people themselves. And so there's no good way to discern between the two, but she's just throwing out a Bible verse and being like, choose the narrow road. It's like, fuck, where's the narrow one? I don't know which one's the narrow one. Pastor McFeely over here thinks that it's this way, but I see him and his eyes over there that seem to want to fuck me in the ass, and I don't know if that's the right road or not. Like, I don't know. They were probably in Italy. They got some narrow... There are very narrow roads in Italy, and there are also, it's all cobblestone, and it'll hurt your feet if you walk for 3 hours, but in reality, walk for 5 hours and then ascend 800 feet in the air.
This seems very specific.
Very specific to an experience that I had.
Yes.
We were not 800 feet in the air? I don't know. I'm going to need to see elevation on that.
I want to encourage you. The Bible tells us in 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 21, you cannot have part in the Lord's table and the table of demons. So if you are a Christian, I would really, really encourage you not to celebrate this day.
I would encourage you not to eat from the demon's table, but eat from God's table. And I wonder what they've got at the demon's table. Like, if it's some like good shit, maybe I want to eat from the demon's table. I don't know. What kind of shit does God have? If it's like uncooked Brussels sprouts, then no, I'm not going to eat from fucking God's table. Meanwhile, the devil's over there with like, I don't know, sugar-free donuts or some shit. I'm gonna be like, hey, I don't mind getting in on that. Like the devil's got some good shit while the Lord forgot to cook his own food. Like, I feel like I'm probably gonna go the devil direction. I don't know. Maybe that's why I'm a heathen.
Number 2, Halloween is a dark, evil, and satanic ritual. I don't care.
No, it's not. It is literally not a satanic ritual, a dark ritual, or any kind of ritual. It's very secular in nature. And that's been a development over many, many years, where multiple different traditions from Celtic pagans and Christians were syncretized together to produce a secular holiday that's divorced from its origins. So it literally cannot be demonic.
If you plan to dress up as Bozo the Clown or Princess the Frog, if you're
Princess the Frog? Have you heard of Princess the Frog? Like, what little girls are dressing up as Princess the Frog? Is that like that Disney princess from the princess that turns into a frog? Is that what she's talking about? I don't know why I'm trying to make sense of the bullshit she's saying.
In case you were wondering.
Yeah.
The Victor Emmanuel Tomb Monument is 266 feet high.
Oh, okay, so we're 266 feet in the air. And that's at the very top? 266 feet. So not 800, 266. That was still 5 hours and 266 feet in the air. And 400 steps. So directly up. Yeah, we did it twice.
participating in Halloween, you are participating in a demonic ritual. This is the day where Satanists, witches, warlocks, psychics, mediums, and spiritists all come together because they believe that the spiritual realm is the thinnest and their rituals and their spells are even more potent and more powerful. And why would you want to participate in a day where Satanists, witches, warlocks, and demonic activity are taking place?
See, this is the kind of person that believed that witches were actually casting spells on Donald Trump during his presidency. The fact that she thinks that there are witches, warlocks, and demons and all that kind of shit, like casting spells on Halloween night or something, I feel like this individual can't discern fantasy from reality. Like, her reality is fantasy. Is what I feel out of this video, because there's no rituals that happen on Halloween night from witches or warlocks or demons or anything like that.
There might be, but nothing that actually does anything.
Well, right. What I'm saying is that there's no actual like magic going on. Like there's like, sure, maybe there are like some people that perform rituals or something like that, but traditionally, as far as Halloween and Samhain go, there are not rituals associated with the holiday. Other than, not like the magic rituals that she's talking about, as far as to make their magic stronger or whatever. At least in my research, there isn't any kind of like official association between like pagan rituals and Samhain and everything. The veil between the living and the dead, being thinnest, the thing that had the effect on the pagans at that time was just they dressed up, as these ghouls so that they could not be, fucked around with by the ghouls. And that was the extent of the ritual in Samhain, as far as its connection to Halloween goes. So nothing that she said here is based in reality. It's all based in her fantasy world that she's crafted in order to scare Christians out of celebrating Halloween, which is a perfectly fine holiday to celebrate.
This is the day that they look forward to. So why would you equally want to participate in that day? The Bible tells us in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 22 to reject every kind of evil.
Oh, does that include all of the child sexual abuse in all of the churches all over the world? No, I feel like maybe that's not included. And the reverence that's shown to churches and church officials and all of that are circulating, these pedophiles and, those people that Chris Hansen would have caught, that you compared Halloween to at the very beginning of this video. I mean, I kind of feel like this 1 Thessalonians thing right here would probably be very pertinent to those particular individuals. But my guess is that you don't want to acknowledge the problems in your own church or in your own community. You would rather just paint everybody else as being satanic and adhering to some kind of form of evil. Maybe I feel like the best way to sum up the response to this video is that maybe you should be focused on the evil that's occurring in your own house, not like her personal house, but like in her Christian community, before you start shaming people for just having fun on another day of the year. Like, I feel like that's probably the most pertinent thing to do.
And I'm sure we can all admit that Halloween is definitely a form of evil that we need to be rejecting. This is the day where crime is at the highest. This is the day where sacrifices are at the highest. Why would you?
Sacrifices are at the highest? Like, I've never, like, I feel like if sacrifices were at the highest, that you would see something in the news about that. Like, well, it's post-Halloween, and we've come across 12 sacrificed corpses of small animals and a child. Like, I feel like that would make national news. Let's see. Are crime rates highest?
It says anytime alcohol use increases, as it does on Halloween as well as New Year's, the 4th of July, and even Christmas, so do the chances of crime and accidents.
Okay, so it's a case of causation. Correlation doesn't mean causation. Because what Casey just talked about is that any kind of point in the year where alcohol consumption is increased, like on Halloween, also 4th of July, Labor Day, probably Christmas, there's going to be there's a possibility for an increase in crime rates.
It also says there's an increase in crime generally when people are out and about at later hours, which also happens on all of those holidays.
Right. In case you guys didn't hear that, there's also a possible increase in crime rates during times when people are out later than normal, which would include all of the holidays that we've surveyed so far. So I guess Halloween in this respect would be just as demonic as July 4th.
Want to participate in a day where you have to check your child's candy to make sure that it's not poison or tainted with anthrax or fentanyl or any type of drug that could kill them or harm them.
I'm like, what?
Nobody's giving away fentanyl, man.
Like, well, I don't understand why Christians think that, like, people that have fentanyl or other drugs have them in such quantities or you know, get them at such a cheap price that they can lace like Halloween candy with them. The whole idea of Halloween candy being laced with anything was actually an urban myth that got started and passed around. Also, fucking anthrax. Like, that's a new one to me. Like, I've never heard of anybody being like, they might coat the candy with anthrax.
How many people can even get access to anthrax?
I don't know. There's a very low number of individuals. It's like, don't go over there to Dr. Samuel's house. You know, he's been a little crazy this year and he works at that there CDC. But I mean, still, this is fear mongering yet again. Nobody is stuffing, like drugs in candy. If that were to happen, you would definitely know it because you would only have adults going to the house being like, yo man, trick or treat. And like they slip them the money and then they would definitely be getting money for this candy. It's not like trick or treat, you know, either give me the fucking drugs or I'm going to fuck you up. Like that's not happening. Like, I don't know why these people think that people are just freely giving out drugs.
Why would you want to hang skulls around your house knowing that God is a God that brings dry bones to life, but instead you want to hang death around your house?
What? Wait a second. She just said, why would you want to hang up skulls around your house when God is known to bring bones back to life? Dry bones back. First of all, the skulls that are being hung around the house are not real human skulls.
Fucking plastic, you stupid ass bitch.
They're fucking plastic and shit. Like, these are not real skulls, for one. For two, you think that dry bones can be brought back to life?
But here's the deal. If God wants to bring anything to life in your yard, he can. So what difference does it make?
That's right. I don't know what difference it makes. Casey was making the point of, God can do anything. He can bring anything back to life in your yard. So why, what?
He can make a plant talk to you.
Right.
So what difference does it make?
Well, I mean, the plant's got to be on fire first before it can talk.
It does not have to be. He can do anything.
He can do anything.
Yes.
He's all powerful.
Yes.
That motherfucker. Tara Dickoff says, I know a girl that can bring a tri-bone to life. Oh, man. Oh, shit.
Why would you want to dress yourself up as a skeleton knowing that you've been dealing with a chronic illness for years and you've been praying for God to heal you?
That seems awfully specific there. Why would you dress up as a skeleton? I'm not sure who actually just dresses up as just a bare bones skeleton anymore. But why do you dress up as a skeleton even though you've been praying for, like, why do these two things, how are these two things connected? Like, why would God be like, oh, that motherfucker dressed up like a skeleton? Well, I guess I'm not healing his bone cancer. Like, I mean, that's such a petty thing. Is this woman's God so fucking petty that he would be like, that's a shitty costume. I'm not curing your cancer.
Yes.
Like,
God tells you he's petty and jealous. Like, he literally tells you in the Bible.
I mean, that's a good point. He is petty and jealous, but is that real?
Tells you he is.
God does tell you that he is. My point is that, does that God really deserve to be worshipped?
According to them, yeah.
I mean, according to them, yeah, but I mean, they're like, what's that? Crazy, but Stockholm syndrome. That's the word I was looking for there. Ramblings and Beyond says you need more alcohol for this video. I mean, I'm slowly working. Like I had a whole cup here, a mixed drink full, and so I'm consistently working on it. But this definitely requires some kind of lubricant in order to fucking parse this out. Of course, I'm going like inch by inch in this video because everything she says is fucking crazy.
That's KC's money.
Why are you dressing your child up as a goblin and a ghost knowing that they've been complaining that they've been having nightmares for the past 3 months? Why?
I mean, yeah, I would definitely add like nightmares about what? Father McFeely or real ghosts and goblins? Like, I feel like if it's real Father McFeely, maybe taking them out of that element and letting them have fun by dressing up as ghouls and ghosts might be a good thing for them. Getting them away from the church where, they can't be assaulted and everything like that. Like, it seems fine. What kind of nightmares are they having? If a parent is not helping their child work through whatever issues that they're having, that says more about the parent. Like, huh?
Also, kids tend to pick their own costumes. If they're scared of ghosts, they won't be a ghost.
Yeah, that's a good point, is that she's acting like the parents force children into specific costumes. I've never had to force Xander into a costume. We've always been like, what do you want to be this year? Oh, you want to be one of them plague doctors. Okay. We can do that. Like, that's a weird request there, bud. Yeah, he does a pretty good job on Halloween. But yeah, so I mean, nobody's forcing children into costumes. And also, if your kid doesn't want to be in a costume, then don't force them to be in a costume. But I've also never heard of parents like forcing their children to celebrate Halloween like that.
You want to dress your child up as a witch knowing that you've been praying and asking God to break every generational curse over your life. Why are you doing that? It's
break every generational curse. This woman believes in generational fucking curses. Like, this is some Bob Larson shit right here. Like, there's a generational curse on your family for 50 generations. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? What are these generational curses? Why do they exist? Why is something that my 10 times great grandfather did that was shitty one time, why does that have to affect me? I mean, in the Bible, it's because God's petty and jealous, right? So, I mean, is that really something sensible to like be concerned about? Like, if God is that petty and jealous, I mean, are you going to take him seriously? Like, yo, dude, this dude didn't go to church one day and now you're going to put a generational curse on him? Like, what the fuck? The belief in generational curses is a lack of responsibility. Personal responsibility. Lack of personal responsibility.
Something to blame.
Yeah, they need something to blame. It's obviously not them, so it's their 10 times great grandfather that one time, you know, did something with his dick. Got it.
It's time to wake up and stop flirting with the devil. You never hear Satanists and witches saying, oh my gosh, I can't wait to celebrate the birth of Christ. Oh my gosh, I can't wait until Resurrection Sunday.
Because they're not fucking Christian if they're pagan. Like if they're Wiccan or whatever in the fuck that you're describing here in your fantastical view of reality, they wouldn't be Christian. So yeah, they wouldn't be thinking about those things. Hell. Yeah. Casey said nobody cares about your stupid bullshit. Like me as an atheist, like I don't think about those things. Like the only reason why I think about those things is because I live in the South and I'm confronted with it every single fucking day. And even while I'm at work, I get an email from somebody and at the bottom it's like Psalm 127:9 or some shit like that. And you know, so I get confronted with it on a daily basis. That's the only reason why I think about that shit.
So why are you as a Christian saying, oh my gosh, I can't wait until Halloween? It's evil, demonic, and satanic, and it is not of God. So if you are a Christian, I really would encourage you to not celebrate it. The Bible tells us in 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 8, to be alert and of sober mind, because our great enemy, the devil, walks around like a roaring lion, looking to see who.
Wait, so yeah, that was my reaction too. So at the beginning, it's like the devil doesn't want you to know he's here, but now the devil is a great roaring lion that's walking around, swinging his big lion dick everywhere, roaring about it and everything, making sure everybody knows that he's there. And he's like, I'm the devil, roar! Worship my dick, roar! But he's like, keep it on the down low though. I don't want people knowing I'm the devil. Roar!
We can devour. As a Christian and as a child of God, there is always a target on your back. There is a real devil seeking to kill, steal, and destroy. And while you're out participating in Halloween, going door to door asking for candy, there's still a real satanic attack upon you, seeking to kill, steal, and destroy you, your family, and your household.
That is putting a lot on the phrase trick or treat. like if you say trick or trick to me, I think that you're going to want to destroy me. You're going to want to infest my body. You're going to want to tear me away from the Lord Jesus Christ. Like it's just a kid standing there in a mask and he's like, trick or treat. And she's like, get back to thee, Satan. You may not have me in my mother box. Yeah, this is very heavy persecution complex. Also, like I can't imagine the amount of trauma that must have maybe put her in this position. Like I don't know what she's been through in her life, but to hear trick or treat and think this motherfucker wants to kill me, I feel like there's got to be something there. Like something's happened, like either in a sermon or something like that, that's just scared her onto a path. It's like, oh yes, all trick or treating is from Satan, and they just want to kill us all. Like. This 3-year-old dressed as a unicorn is definitely here to murder me. Well, I mean, obviously that's a sign of the LGBTQ community, so yeah. I don't fucking know. When does this gotta make sense?
Why would you want to engage in any satanic operations when they're directly working against you? When you are participating in Halloween, you are opening the door for Satan to have reign over your life. So if you are a Christian, I would really, really encourage you to reject this day and not celebrate.
I don't think that celebrating Halloween and having fun on Halloween is going to invite Satan into your life. Like, I don't know how that works, other than, you know, she thinks that people celebrate Halloween and they don't have God in their mind. I mean, I know plenty of churches that hold Halloween celebrations. They just call them something different, like fall festivals, or one thing that's popular here in North Alabama is called trunk or treat, where they basically, a church fixes up their church kind of in fall festival kind of decorations, and they allow kids to come by and get, you know, trick or treat, but they call it trunk or treat. So, I mean, I don't see how any of this is inviting Satan into your life. Like, she's not making, I mean, obviously she's not making any kind of sense, but like internally to her own argument, none of this makes sense.
Halloween. And lastly, the main reason why we should not be celebrating Halloween is because it does not glorify God. The Bible tells us in 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 31, that whether we eat or drink or whatever we do so for the glory of God.
And so, you know, I find this to be incredibly sad on the Christian's part, because it's like, no matter everything that you do, it has to be done for God. And I feel like that's an incredibly sad, like, life to live, because you're constantly worried about this magical being that wants to control your life, but wants to control your life by shaming you into doing it yourself. And you have to spend your entire life with that God at the forefront of your mind. Like, everything that you do, you have to wonder, is this going to piss God off? Like, I just don't see how that's a very fulfilling life.
And I'm sure we can all admit that Halloween does not glorify God. It glorifies Satan. Everything around Halloween is centered around death. It's centered around evil. It's centered around chaos and destruction and being afraid. The Bible tells us that God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. It is not of God to want to intentionally scare you.
I'm sorry. What is the famous verse there? The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Like, you're trying to tell me that God doesn't want to scare God into you?
And the reason that she doesn't want to do any of this is because she's afraid that God will send her to hell.
That's a good point. Like, she's afraid. She's afraid of God sending her to hell, and so that's why it's important to do what God wants. This entire video is ridiculous. Like, this is just not even internally consistent to Christianity, let alone her own arguments that she's making. Like, this is just totally fucking ridiculous. God doesn't want you to be scared. God doesn't want you to have fear. Like, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge there, bitch.
Several times throughout the Bible, God is telling us to do not fear. So why would you intentionally want to scare yourself and your family and your children? Why would you?
I mean, sometimes people need a good scare. I mean, I don't know. Like, some people, it's fun for some people, for one. For two, I mean, like, like down here in the South, it's a very common saying to be like, I'll put the fear of the Lord in you. And so people are always wanting to scare people with God. It's just that, like, that's seen as good because it's done for God, right? Whereas the fearing of, I guess, Satan, or fear that's done in the name of Satan, like, that's done for Satan. And that's literally the only thing that distinguishes the two, is whether or not you're putting the fear of the Lord into people, or if you're scaring people for Satan. In her magical worldview, to me, it doesn't really matter. I mean, both of them are magical entities. Both of them don't exist in reality. So, it doesn't matter. It's just that the problem that I have is that a lot of people show a lot of reverence to God, and so they take fear of the Lord, or I'll put the fear of the Lord in you, as being like some kind of good thing, even though it's still abusive. Whereas, like, fear of Satan or something like that, or scary movies or whatever in the fuck, like, all of that is, like, can be fun, enjoyable. Jester, Lord of Fools, used their member chat to say this is the best advertisement for Halloween I've ever seen. Someone should pay her for selling it so hard. You know, I have to say I agree with that, because it's like, oh, you mean Halloween is about worshiping demons and Satan? Sign me the fucketh up. Because last time I checked, Satan barely has any kind of kill count in the Bible, whereas God wiped out the entire planet, plus killed a whole bunch of other people after that. So who should we really be like? Is it really a bad thing to be afraid of the devil or anything like that, or whatever in the fuck she's trying to sell here? Let's see. Humans are like dick worms, but worse. Globe for the Earth knee says, "Hail Satan, y'all! Lick that like button, heathens." Thank you so much, there, knee.
Want to do that, it completely goes against the word of God. This is how I see Halloween. Imagine that you just got married to the love of your life, but every year, once a year, your husband decides that he wants to go off with his ex-girlfriend just for the night. He says it's completely harmless. They do it every year. Everything's fine, but after that night, he'll go back to you and everything will be normal, like nothing happened. How would you feel? You would feel betrayed, you would feel hurt, and honestly, you would not accept that. So why are you doing that to God when you celebrate Halloween?
Yeah, this is a really stupid analogy. For one thing, I don't feel like Christians are married to God, for one. For two, celebrating Halloween isn't like going out on a date with your ex. It's not. And I feel like there are plenty of Christians that remain Christian on Halloween, still celebrate Halloween, do the trick-or-treating and everything like that. And it's literally not stepping out on God. See, this is her just fabricating bullshit reasons to fearmonger people into her position. And it's really disgusting.
You're essentially saying, hey, God, I love you. You're amazing. But guess what? I'm going to go hang out with the devil and take part in his festive dealings just for the night. But don't worry, I'm going to come back and glorify you on Sunday morning. We're going to be good. No, that's lukewarm. You're either all in or you're not. You're hot or cold. But because you are lukewarm, I will spit you out of my mouth. And if you are participating in Halloween, I'm calling you out right now. You are a lukewarm Christian. And
so God's a spitter, I take it. Or she is. I mean, all of this magical shit, I feel like is just more of her delusion about mixing up fantasy and reality. I mean, that's all that this is, because none of this, all this fantastical shit she's talking about is all only happening in her head. Like, sure, there are probably people that share her sentiments and everything like that, but I'm just saying, like, this is some shit that's been fabricated in her own mind. And like I said before, at the very beginning of this, she seems to have a difficult time distinguishing between fantasy and reality, because everything that she has said has been fantasy, but she thinks, at least she's been talking like it's reality.
God is not pleased. So if you are celebrating Halloween, I really encourage you to reject it, stop being lukewarm, and go all in for Jesus Christ.
Also, notice the gatekeeping that's going on here, saying that these Christians are lukewarm Christians as if they're not fully committed to God or anything like that. And I feel like that's just a way to shame people into doing a particular thing or holding a particular position. And I feel like it's pretty disgusting to like shame people into those kind of in this way. And use fear. Yeah. She's using fear. She's trying to scare people into her position, which she just said was a bad thing, right? Oh yeah, God doesn't do that. That's right. Humans are like worms, said, I'm here for the gangbang. Happy Halloween.
We are living in the last days and we have no time for foolishness. All we have time for is to fully expose the enemy and just be locked in with God. But that's all I got for you.
Thank Christ. So basically, what she said, the 3 reasons are: Halloween weakens you in the spirit, which it doesn't. Halloween is not centered on God, or it doesn't have God in mind, and so that, in a way, makes it bad. It makes it not good. And then there's the satanic origins and practices of Halloween, which is not true at all. Humans are like Worm says, go all in for Jesus.
You have been blessed by Christ. Now go forth and suck my dong.
Balls deep. And Jester, Lord of Fools, says, poor Luke always being called blandly warm. But anyways, that's going to be it for the video tonight. I do believe we may have some Skeptic Mafia comments to go over. I'm going to go check that out real quick. But if you're leaving out right now, I really appreciate you guys joining tonight. I know this was a kind of a short stream here tonight. Looks like we got about 4 comments to go over. Kind of a short stream tonight, but I appreciate all of you for being here. It was quite long, the video, and we inched along in it. But if you're going to be leaving out right now, be sure to smash that like button.
You have been blessed by Christ. Now go forth and suck my dong. You have been blessed by Christ. Now go forth and suck my dong.
Well, it's getting caught up with all of the super chats. So if you will, please leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think. And before you leave out, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And I guess don't forget to stand up and use your voice. I will see you heathens next week when we've got some video on morality, as well as a video about whether or not Jesus existed. So tune in then for that. Don't forget to stand up, use your voice, and all that kind of good shit. And I will see you later, heathens. But don't go, because we got the Skeptic Mafia comments to go through right here, which I need to zoom in a little bit. There we go. So first up is Space Tomato 69. He says, damn it, completely forgot, so I can't really watch it, but I'm guessing it's going to be a good one for you to debunk, I guess. In any case, here's the ASCII. And it's a screaming face thing. I imagine that's what their arguments will be like, an old man shouting at the clouds, basically. Anyways, excuse me. Anyways, remember to hit the likey, smash the subscribey, and just do all the YouTube stuff. And why not become a member? It's fun. You get all kinds of emojis and other benefits. Just remember the mantra. KC is always right. I will listen to KC. I will listen to KC's recommendations. KC is God. Yeah, so we will be getting back to like the Skeptic Mafia podcast that I keep promising that we'll do on a regular basis. We're going to be getting back to all that here soon, so definitely become a Skeptic Mafia member if you would like to, and you can get those podcasts. Drew's book review says, not sure if I can tune in, but if I can, I will. Simple answer, it doesn't matter. Just celebrate what you want, with who you want, how you want, with some other person or mythic entity, real or imagined, tell you. Anyways, heathens, until next time, keep on reading. Thank you there, Drew's book reviews. And then we got Mr. Hanachek, who says, I don't even think I made it past 5 seconds. Holy shit, the bullshit is coming. Face protection needed tonight. Looks like we had somebody subscribe. And then we've got Jonathan Nickel. Yes, Jonathan Nickel, who says, this girl is so completely engrossed in Christianity that she believes devils, demons, and whatever other supposedly dark forces her mind can invent or her favorite book may describe are actually real. I genuinely feel sorry for her that she sees darkness and potential threats all around her that are no more real than the monster under the bed that she may have hidden from as a child. Halloween is nothing more than a day for people to dress up and have fun. Contrary to what she claims, there is no threat, there is no demonic presence waiting to pounce the moment you participate. That's true. Like I said, she has a problem, it seems, discerning between fantasy and reality. And somebody has concocted this fantastical world for her that she can't really parse out from the real world. In the UK, some people make a significant event of Halloween, but it is not as popular as it is in the US. Most of us skip Halloween, not because we think it's dangerous, but because we have bonfire night a week later, and we tend to focus more of our attention on that. That sounds like fun. Bonfire event? Like, I'd go and sit beside a bonfire and have a beer. Like, I mean, as long as I'm in bed by 9. Just saying. Right now, 9 is kind of the bedtime. My plan for Halloween is fairly simple. I'll purchase a selection box of chocolates and hope nobody comes knocking at the door. To those who make more of an effort on Halloween, enjoy! Thank you there, Nickel, Jonathan Nickel. Polly Pocket says, well, that was such a treat. Halloween is hella fun. Yahweh needs a stick operation. Anyway, join the mafiosos. You won't regret it. Much love, y'all. Thank you there, Polly Pockets. I appreciate you. And that's going to be it for the comments tonight. I really appreciate everybody who left a comment. Humans are like worms, says KC is better than JC all day, every day. Yeah. KC agrees with that. So, but in any case, really appreciate you guys joining me tonight for this bit of bullshit. And I guess we will see you heathens this weekend. Debate tomorrow at 5 p.m. Central. And, we've got the line show on Monday night. So I will see you heathens then. Don't forget to stand up and use your voice. Bye, heathens.